Starting now. Hey, welcome everyone to the Eden Ideal
What's going
podcast.
on?
It's good to see you all again. So according to loads of random surveys which I found on Google, I think Rachel should turn down her phone. I'll do that again. According to loads of random surveys I found on Google, arguments over money are apparently the leading cause of divorce and broken relationships and issues in relationships in general. So today we're going to be talking about all of these things, money and relationships, specifically trying to understand what you need to look out for in a partner to ensure that you don't become part of this dreadful statistic. So before we start into that, I want to welcome my beautiful co-hosts. How you guys doing today?
Okay.
We've got Taddy on the end there,
What's up? What's up?
Rachel in the middle, and Bimmy Soul in.
This is not my name.
Welcome. How you guys doing? Good weeks, everyone.
Good.
Great.
Yes, it's been a good week. Thank you very much,
Cool.
good sir.
Oh, good.
Dwayne,
We see that you
Dwayne
went to
is
the
not here.
barbers.
Thank you very much. Yeah, I mean they
Sharp,
haven't seen
looking
me in
sharp.
weeks, so
It's true.
No,
It's
it's a
true.
nice comeback, Tolly.
Thank you.
Oh, yeah,
Nice
welcome
one.
back.
Yeah.
Welcome back, brother.
Yeah. I hope you guys, have not really missed me too much on like my face. Let's cut that out. Oh man, I hate that I did that. I'm
It's
so
there
upset
now.
right
It's
now.
there to say.
Anyways,
Okay.
let's just
okay.
keep going.
It came from the heart.
Let's just keep going. We if you're watching live, we really want to welcome you as well. Today we need collective wisdom from everyone to be able to have this conversation the right way. So we really want you guys to participate in the comment section. So I'll be specifically asking you some questions, and I want people to kind of like vote in the chat, like say yes or no, and then we're gonna actually like say how many people said yes or no, so we can actually see what the broad population think about particular things. But right now, do say hello, because we don't actually know who you are until you say hello. So say hello in the comment section. Tell us where you are enjoying this conversation from. I know Dwayne right now is in a garden, probably drinking Pims or something. He's at his auntie's house.
Dwayne a Pims kind of guy.
He looks like a Pims kind of guy to me.
Oh,
No,
you like
am I-
Pims?
am I
Like a bit
wrong?
of Pims, D?
Dwayne, comment whether you're drinking a Pims right now, because I'm sure you're going to be watching as well, so you can let us know. But yeah, I want to get straight into it, guys. What are you
Let's
saying?
Let's do it.
do
What
it.
are you saying?
Let's go.
All right, so the first question I want to ask you guys is, should how much a person makes, you guys have watched the trailer, I hope, but should how much a person makes factor into a decision about whether to date them or not? Don't all start at once.
It doesn't when it's not like the thing that I ask when I meet somebody. No. So I mean,
Okay, sorry. Remix the question. It's not whether to date them or not. Sorry, whether to go into a serious relationship or whether to marry them or not. So you're already dating them, maybe.
should how much they make, or that kind of means that you have to know how much they're making. So does that mean that you're asking whether or not there's a cutoff? If you make less than 30k, I'm not dating you. If you make more than 30k, then fine. We can be serious.
Does money matter? Does
Like,
money
that's
matter
It
to you?
does matter, but I wouldn't say it's necessarily how much they make.
Okay.
I think it's more of, are they financially stable? Because that can look different regardless of whether you're on 6-7 figures or on 5 figures.
Okay, sorry, go on, Rachel.
No, I was going to ask a follow-up question, because I think there's like two elements to this. It's not necessarily just how much you make. I also think the kind of job that you do also comes into play as well.
Wow, really?
Okay, so just, I'm gonna use intentionally like extreme examples.
Isaac from
Oh, man.
Nigeria.
Hi, Isaac.
Hi, Isaac.
Yeah. Good to see you.
Good to see
Well,
you.
I can't see you, but good to have you in the
Hey,
comments.
what's going on?
So you guys all sorted out drinks for yourself. No one thought to.
Oh,
sort
I
sorry,
did.
something
I
out
forgot
for
to
you.
give you order the iced coffee.
You
when you
didn't.
came to, in my head I
You
did.
didn't.
I'm
You
so
didn't.
sorry.
sorry.
Like, I'm actually
Sorry.
sweating. I'm parched. Like I actually like
It was
Sorry.
awkward.
feel
it's
really
awkward.
dry out
Happy.
here.
Sorry.
Oh wow.
And you're by
Sorry.
the window. You're by the door. Sorry.
Yeah.
So you're even.
Anyways.
Sorry.
So just to try and like, would you guys date someone who was like earning minimum wage, like really low, but they were hardworking, they were really studious, they but this is just what they wanted to do with their lives.
Oh,
and they were happy with that. No, this isn't potential, because we could talk about potential. No, forget potential for now.
That's what I was gonna say. I was gonna say, are they just doing it
this
for
is where
now? And
maybe he works in a charity shop, because he thinks that's really important.
And there's nothing wrong with charity shops.
And there's nothing wrong with charity shop, but that means, unfortunately, he's not making as much money. Like,
do you not think that your ambitions in life have to align?
Yes.
But is that
yes, I do.
so?
Think
So
that.
I'm asking you. So is that a no? Is that a no?
No,
then?
it doesn't. That's you see, because that was what I was gonna say. I was gonna say, if that is what he is doing right now, because he's trying to do something else, but he's just holding this job down for the second, then why not? But it is about, like, I'm trying to build an empire, right? So
Yeah, Taddy on her empire.
like.
So
Do you want to do more? Like, because I'm the kind of person that when I see, I'm like, okay, cool. So you work in a charity shop. How about we work on getting more charity shops? Why don't we own the charity shop?
Come on.
Why don't we own a few charity shops? Like, do you see what I'm saying? That's the way that I would then think about it. I don't, you want to work in the charity shop? Great. That's great. That's where your heart lies, but you just want to work there. You don't want to move. You don't want to do more.
Okay, so
that's where
he can want to do more. He can want to own 100 charity shops.
Okay,
but by nature of his heart for this, even if I'm opening a charity shop, it's not benefiting me in any way. I'm still coming home with minimum wage. Like, I just want to answer on that question.
So in that specific scenario, I actually don't.
You're not trying to just make this.
Can I answer? I was literally about to answer.
Okay,
do you want a direct answer?
Let's get a direct answer.
Steph said she'll make you one, by the way.
Make me what?
A nice coffee.
Oh, thank you, baby.
I think actually in that specific scenario, because I'm massively big on like giving back community and stuff. So
do I know that? I'm sure you are. I'm joking.
Tolly's really trying to set me up. Like, no, Tolly, we need to talk. We need to talk, because you're really trying it. You're trying it, and it's not okay.
I'm sorry. Carry on.
But anyway, in that scenario, I still think I would like you to earn a bit more. But if that is what you're aiming towards, and it's actually about genuinely helping people, I might be a bit more open to it. I'm not saying that that's like my baseline, yes, but I'd be like, it makes sense, like your vision for life, it makes sense, and I can get on board with that vision. But I'd like you to earn more money, obviously. But if that's where we're at, that's where we're at.
Okay.
Go and ask more questions.
No, I'm just trying to really
because I don't think, and I think you're trying to make it very black and white in terms of money, but actually there's a lot of things that come into it.
Okay.
And your vision and your like what you think your purpose is in life, I think that makes a massive difference. So if you're really trying to say that my heart is charity and I want to help people, I want to benefit people, I can get on board with that, because ultimately that's what we should all be doing. Even if you're not bringing in that much money, okay, cool. Like, you're not bringing in that much money,
but you need money to help people. That's a fact of life. Like, if you want to make an impact on society, and like if your heart is really to help people or set up however many charities, or like work in a charity, for a charity shop to run itself, it needs money, it needs finances.
But so it even needs money. You don't need the money. Like, you don't need to have the money in your personal bank account for you to make charities thrive.
Yeah, but going along the lines of, it's his vision to like long term open up more charities, and like his heart is to work with charities. For that to scale, you need money. That's what I'm talking about.
But again, you don't need the money personally.
You can help.
This is what Tolly was saying. The money's not coming into your personal account. Like, you can have them, in theory, have the money, but it's not your money to spend. So therefore, your lifestyle hasn't changed at all.
Yeah, because I think that you can also, we're saying, because if Tolly said, if the person works in the charity shop and they are earning minimum wage, right? So they're just the worker. They're not like the owner of the charity shop or anything like that. Yeah. Right. So in that kind of scenario, if their vision was that, I'm somebody who likes to push people anyway.
So can I just ask, we've added to make this person sound a bit more juicy. What if that's not their vision?
Also,
I just want to work. I just want to work in a charity shop. I love the Oxfam down my street. I think they're doing a great job. I just want to work there, interact with my community. That's it.
You see, for me, it's got nothing to do with the fact that you work in the charity shop. That just seems like you just want to be stagnant in life. And that's something where I have an issue with, right?
Well,
like, I want you to be able to be looking for.
Yeah, but that means your personalities actually don't align.
Exactly.
Yeah, it doesn't.
I think that's what it comes down
I'm
to.
somebody who wants you to. I want you to be the best that you can be. You know, I'm fully with you wanting to work at the charity shop, but I'm like, okay, cool, but how can we make this?
But they're obviously
more?
not the person's
ambition.
That's the thing.
And
So
your
that's why I'm
personality
now-
types are very different.
Yeah.
So-
So, and I
Force
think
it.
So you see, that's maybe why I'm now trying to clarify the fact that it wouldn't be because they work minimum wage at the charity shop. It would be because they don't have the drive that I have. It
So
wouldn't
why
be
do you
the
why do
minimum
you
wage.
why do you
Purpose,
think that them
the
just
purpose.
working? No,
Wait,
but why do you
purpose.
think that them just working at the charity shop means they don't have the drive?
They might have the
It
drive,
doesn't-
but they
it
don't
doesn't
have the drive that
necessarily.
I
No, no,
have
I mean,
for that.
wait, what
I
I'm
want
saying
you to
is-
own multiple charity. I want you
No,
to.
but why? Like
That's what I'm saying. That's me. That's,
no.
I want
But
you
I
to.
want to ask you, like,
Yeah.
they could have drive in many. Work is just one aspect of your life. Like, they could have drive in so many other aspects of their lives. They might actually, be really active in their church. They might be really active in their family. What do you say to housewives who don't have jobs? Like, do they lack drive? Do they lack ambition?
Whoa. First.
No, I'm just trying to say, like, just because the person isn't trying to own multiple buildings and blah, 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 doesn't mean...
no, wait, hold
You
on.
asked the question and I answered the question.
Tolu,
I'm
can I-
somebody who, if you want some kind of... I don't know, man. I don't want you to just feel like you should just want to be earning minimum wage, just working there, just like that for the rest of your life. If that's what you want to do, it's great for you, but
that's not what you want.
I see more in people. Like, I can see so much more. Like, so I don't know. That's the way that I see things. Like, I don't know, man. Maybe
People have been
my
called
answer
to
is no.
different
Then
things,
maybe.
though. Like, some people have been called to their local community. Some people have been called to a global community. So it's just you acknowledging where you've been called to. It doesn't mean that person lacks drive.
That's true.
If
So
they're
maybe
called
let me
to that
take that
arena,
back. I'm not gonna say that you lack drive since you want to
Yeah.
work in the
they're
charity
walking
shop
in it.
for the rest of your life. You don't lack drive.
Can I
I'm sorry.
ask?
By the way. Sorry.
Can I ask? Because I'm very mindful of the fact that Tolu's asked this question. There were 3 girls sitting on this panel, and it's very much, and it's a conversation that it's always had in social media, and it always looks like ultimately we're bashing men, or like women want certain things. Like, and I think it's just very one-sided.
I don't think it's one-sided.
I think it is. I think it can be, because obviously you're sitting here and you're asking us, we're 3 women, and obviously all we're going to speak about, we're speaking about men, right? So throw that question back to you. And I know it's always a little bit different when men come at it. So throw it back to you. If that's all your partner was doing, would you be happy with that?
No.
Okay.
Like, I've
Why?
repented.
Why?
I've repented a little, but like, this is gonna sound bad. But when I was
Go ahead.
when I was first dating
Down
Steph,
that hill.
like, she used to
wow.
like,
Okay, sorry, no.
huh?
Not in support of what you're gonna say about Steph.
No. Like, one of the things that it wasn't about like how much she made, but I do think I was a bit snobbish about what she did. I've repented.
Wow, really?
Yeah. Like, Steph always used to say, like, I never used to come visit her because she used to work at Claire's part-time while she was at uni.
studying.
Told
Told she was
Yeah.
studying.
Yeah, no, but like when
I
everyone
thought
asked
you meant
me,
her real job.
but like, the thing is, when anyone would ask me, like, what does she do, I would say, oh, she's training to be a pharmacist.
Yeah, because that's what she was doing. That was a side job. That's a real
Exactly.
thing.
So I didn't think it was a big deal. But
You never
Steph
said
was
that
like,
she works at Claire's.
why don't you ever mention that I work at Claire's? Why don't you ever come visit me at work
So you
and
didn't
all of
visit
these
her.
things?
Ah,
No.
Wow, Tolu.
No, wait. I don't think I didn't want to visit her. This is subliminal. I think she was gaslighting me personally. Like, I did eventually visit her, and it was
After
cool.
much cajoling.
No, like, it was
Do you know
cool.
what's really insane? Is because like that wasn't her final destination, yet you still had such a big issue with it.
Who told you it was a big issue?
But if it was her final destination,
yeah, he's not happy.
Would you have
at the time
come round?
No.
At the time, I wouldn't have been happy. Like, if I'm being honest,
Why?
It's pretty much the same thing that you're saying.
I'm happy that you as a guy are coming at it from that perspective.
Oh, 100%.
A lot of guys would just be like, no, it doesn't matter.
No, they're lying. In the 21st
they
century,
would say that because they feel like they're the ones who are the provider anyway.
So it doesn't
really
matter
doesn't
what my woman does.
Yeah, some would say that.
The thing
Some
is,
wouldn't. But some
like on the spectrum
would.
of men provider, I'm probably like inching towards the men provider side.
Yeah.
But I definitely wouldn't want to date or marry someone who just didn't want to have something going, like you said. So just because I was challenging you doesn't mean I don't agree. Like,
okay,
I
cool.
also, I don't know whether that's right or wrong or sinful. But
No, see, this is why I wanted to ask you, because you would have just kept quiet and then it would have just been us.
But the my answer, which is maybe different from men and women, is it definitely wasn't about how much
Money.
they earned.
It was
exactly.
It was about
what
what they did.
What
And I
they
think
did.
I was still wrong in that. Like, you know, you
I
should be able
don't
to do
know.
whatever.
I still stand firmly on the what still.
So what
just
is a
need you
like
to
no
be
go?
hustling.
I'm not saying
yeah,
that.
yeah. So what are some
need you to be
specific
hustling,
what are some
man.
specific like red lines? So for Tadio, it's if you don't have the drive, for lack of a better word.
Yeah, because I want you to be able to push me. I want you to push me, and I want to
challenge each
push
other.
you. I want whatever you want. Because one of the things that I will ask anybody that I'm dating, the person that I'm dating, is, what do you want to do? What are you trying to build? What do you want to achieve? How can I help in that? You know, like, and then I start thinking of ways that I can actually assist in that. How can I be your helper in this? How can I, how can I help you to achieve this dream? You know what I mean? Do I know anyone? Like, that's just how I am. If I can't do that, then I'm just like, oh, okay, so like, what do we do? I don't feel like we're working together. You know what I mean? Like, yeah.
So before we continue, guys, I want to remind you watching live, please let us know what you think in the comment section. Should money and the amount someone makes be a factor in whether you date or marry them? Bim, are there any comments that we're getting?
So we've got one from Arthur Isaac, who says, you don't necessarily need money to help people. The thought and drive to help others will in itself get other things to gravitate towards you. The mind is the first stop. Once you get it right, everything falls in place.
Wisdom.
Yeah, I like that.
Wisdom.
Nice
No, but-
idea.
okay.
Good comment.
I like that comment.
But the reality is, at the end of the day, majority of relationships are breaking because of money. So I think we have given a slightly romantic answer here. Like, the reality of the world is we all have bills. We all have things that we want to do. Bim just went skydiving. You know, I'm sure that costs money.
You went skydiving.
I'm sure that costs.
How do I
I'm sure
not
that
know
costs
this?
money.
Yeah.
Yeah. So, like, I'm just saying.
Talk about that after.
I want to now talk about if your partner couldn't afford your lifestyle. What is that an issue?
If he couldn't afford the lifestyle that I currently live.
Yes. Tadio's like, if you can't afford my current lifestyle, you're not.
I mean,
I'm only joking. I didn't say that. Tony said that.
I knew what you were
Can
thinking.
I afford the lifestyle that I currently live?
I mean, I think it comes back to not necessarily like affording my lifestyle, because I'm not looking to you to
Fund it.
But exactly, to fund it,
Exactly,
because I would
yes.
expect you and me to be somewhat independent when it comes to finances.
Ooh,
But
pop that one. We're coming back to that.
yeah, no, I fully expect that.
Okay.
But should I continue or
We're back. We're back. Keep going.
From the top, then, from the top.
I was saying that it's not necessarily me looking for someone to afford my lifestyle, because I'm not looking to them to fund it, because I would
Yes.
expect both of us to be somewhat independent when it comes to finances. But what I would more be looking for is, are we both headed towards a direction where we can both sustain that financial stability. And it's not a case where when we do get together, one person is now being drained by the other person or vice versa. Like, I feel like it should be a case where iron sharpens iron. We're both on the same page when it comes to finances, and we can both challenge each other and we can both grow in that area, but not a case where I'm funded. Like, going back to the question that we had, like when we were promoting and you asked, would you pay your boyfriend's school fees? Like, I don't think that
Bim's not here for
it doesn't compute in my mind, because that's not like, I see when I'm thinking of, you know, potential person to marry, I'm seeing us as two whole, complete, equal people that are headed in the right direction, not one person that's coming to fund someone else's lifestyle, if that makes sense.
Yeah. On the flip side of that, you don't want to be with somebody who, I think it's about money management, isn't it?
Yeah.
Because there's some people that they think that, yeah, it's nice to receive gifts, like, you know, designer gifts and stuff like that, but it's not like it's not a be all and end all. And if somebody has that expectation of you and you're now doing the most, going into debt just because you want to buy your girlfriend or your boyfriend Louis Vuitton bags, Gucci shoes, do all these expensive kinds of, I don't know, skydiving, holidays, and you are now running into debt because you want to maintain a lifestyle that somebody says that they have, which they probably don't have, but they're saying, but because they want it, they're saying that they have it. Because you want to maintain that, I don't want to be with somebody who feels like they have to do that because I'm making them feel like that. I don't want to make anybody feel like they have to mismanage their funds to keep up.
But what
with
if
me? I'm not even that. I don't really do that. But you know, do you know what I mean? Like, I don't want, like, that's the flip side of that as well, isn't it?
But what if they're like not living the same lifestyle as you? Your lifestyle is a bit more high maintenance. No, I'm.
What lifestyle are
No,
we?
not you.
But
I'm
Tadio,
not speaking about you.
Can I give a practical example, Tadio?
You're
You
comfortable.
travel, Tadio. You travel a lot, like
Yes.
a lot,
Yes.
and obviously, like that obviously costs money. Like, you know, so if you were dating me, that would be a problem, like, between us, because Steph is currently arguing for us to go on holiday. And like, we have these goals, not the time. We'll sacrifice that for it. So I think that's an example of incompatible lifestyles, because I think you wouldn't be able to do that, because some of the things that you go are so important to you. It's not for holiday. Like, you go to America to see your family. You go to Nigeria when there's key events and stuff. Like, I would sacrifice one or two of those things. So I do think like lifestyle isn't. I have not gone in the past.
Sense, yeah.
So like, those are the type of things. So I'm asking if you have someone who is not ready to spend money in that way, would that be a red line for you?
I don't think it would be a red line. I think because it's not black and white, isn't it? Because I'm saving. Sorry, Rachel. I'm saving right now for something quite big, right? So I think it's just about, do you just not want to go because that's just not how you don't see the value in seeing family? Or is there a thing, as you said, we've got these goals and actually let's discuss this and it doesn't make sense to go? Do you see what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Two different things. Like, if it is that you're saying, actually, let's manage our money better. On this occasion, I know you really want to see your family. It would be hard for me to sacrifice that. But if there's an actual valid reason for us to not do that, then okay. Like, I'm a very reasonable person. I'm not just going to be like, we can't afford to go, so we're just not gonna. So still, we will still go. You know what I mean? Like,
please, we need to go to the comment section. It's
yeah,
some funny
so
comments
we've
there.
got a comment from Grace. It definitely should be a factor. Love doesn't pay bills. I know that's right. It might not matter now, but when you get married and you, the woman, is carrying the financial burden, it gets you. I know, my sister. I know. And then we've also got a comment.
But this is why I'm saying I think she's being a bit more real. I don't know if I'm getting it. I don't know. I know you guys are being truthful, but I don't know if I'm getting the the real from you, you know.
Because we don't want to come across as superficial.
No, but
because
let's
money
be real.
isn't everything.
But let's be real, because at the end of the day, this is the real world, and there's a reason majority of marriages fail because of this thing. If you don't take this seriously, you're gonna get into a situation that could cause you headache in the future. This is the biggest reason people argue in relationships. So there's no point being cool and cute about it now. Do you know what I'm saying? Like, let's be real. Oh, thank you. World's best wife here, right here. Brought me a drink. Thank you. And she knows I don't actually drink iced tea, so she brought a juice instead. Look at that. Look at that. Anyways,
She knows you. That's your boo.
do we have any other comments that we want to quickly read?
Yeah, so Alicia Burton, hello, says, if you're broke, really you shouldn't be dating. Work on yourself, Bill. I mean, that's the title of this video, isn't it? Broke guys need not apply.
Based on these two comments, I just, without any qualifiers,
Alicia.
without anything else, what we are saying is, if the person is not at a certain level of not just money but accomplishment, don't apply. Or like drive, or whatever you want, whatever word you want to use, we are saying that there is a red line.
Do you know what? I
don't know.
It doesn't
Maybe.
always apply, because some people meet like when they're really young, when they're both not anywhere and they grow
It's
together.
now.
Okay, you,
And they come up together.
you right now,
Us
that's
now.
sitting
Okay,
in this
but
chair.
me different.
No,
Yeah, it's a
no
different
theory.
story.
No
Yeah.
theory. You, what would you do?
Yeah, I want us to be equally yoked.
Okay, unpack that. All right, I've been waiting for. I have it on my list here. I have it on my list. Bim to unpack unequally yoked. Go on, unpack that.
This is something that I've been in two minds about. So, context, there's a scripture in the Bible that says, what has light got to do with darkness?
Rah, she said if you're broke, you're darkness.
No, I didn't say that.
Is
I
on
didn't
a
say that.
different one.
I didn't say that, which is why I've been in two minds about this, because I don't know if I can fully apply the scripture, because the scripture then goes on to saying,
You
don't
are
be-
mad, Tony.
guys, the scripture then goes on to saying, don't be unequally yoked. And the context of that scripture is talking about like believers and unbelievers not being unequally yoked, because, you know, we're believers, we're the light, unbelievers are darkness. So in that respect is what I think the scripture applies to fundamentally. But then, you know, I've been thinking, I've been reflecting, can that be applied to other areas in life, such as your ambitions, such as your passions, such as your finances, or your finance goals? Like, if you're not equally yoked in those areas, would that not cause friction in your relationship at some point?
Yeah, and just further from that, I think there's a scripture that says, can two walk together except they agree? And I think, like, actually, in order to be in a relationship, there are certain things that you just have to agree on. And I think finances, not necessarily, I think you have to have a vision of your life that is aligned, and that can be related to finance. So I think there has to be
Absolutely. We've got a comment here from Arthur. I'll just read one of them. He says, money is fluid. One moment you have it and the next it's not there. So if it's set as a major factor, then definitely there's going to be a problem.
Hit the nail on the head. Because this is the thing, right? And I think all let's go biblical now, right? Because we're in there. And you guys both talked about unequally yoked and agree where you're walking. And I agree with those scriptures, but those scriptures are talking about something very specific.
Okay, fine.
And they are talking about something about our Christian purpose and direction. Like, not being unequally yoked is about being tied to another kind of ox that is literally driving you in a different direction. And of course, we know the direction that we want Jesus to drive our lives in. So the question is, like, if Jesus is in the driving seat and is directing your life, do you not, like Paul said, there might be some moments of up and there might be some moments of down. You know, Jesus is very clear, like, you know, this is a cross we're carrying, you know, like, it's not always airy-fairy. But what we sometimes do is insert kind of our ambitions and our vision and our desires and where we want our lives to go. And like, because when I was looking into this scripturally, trying to find the Eden ideal, there wasn't anything obviously that spoke specifically to this thing. But there was a lot that spoke about money and just our personal lives. Like, do not, I think it's Matthew 6:24. You cannot be serving God and money at the same time. You can't serve two masters at the same time. If money is a thing that's directing your personal life, full stop, that's going to be an issue for you. And if you have that problem where like you're making decisions based on money as opposed to where you think God is trying to take you or what you think will help or love your neighbor, then of course you're going to have a problem when you're married and someone is not doing something different from you because you haven't even mastered your love for money in your own life. So I think that that's a critical thing, because actually if you are following Jesus, I think the mindset should be one of, I received freely, I give freely, I might not have tomorrow, I might be asked to give it all tomorrow and be at the bottom at the charity shop with this guy, no ambition, no anything. Do you know what I'm saying? So I personally think that that's where our heart should be. But mind you, I'm not saying that that means you should be done with finances, and we can come on to that.
I'm not even saying that. I'm just going back to Grace's comment, actually. Like, I get what you're saying in that when it comes to money, you shouldn't like keep it as if like, you know, it's the end of the world. Like, you should be free with money. It should be fluid. That's fine. I get it. But in terms of simple things, like you're building a life with this person, let's be real, there are responsibilities that you kind of have to be able to afford. You have to be able to afford to put a roof over your head. You have to be able to afford to look after your kids, to send your kids to school, to buy them clothes. Like, you can't run away from that. So there is a certain level of financial stability that you definitely need.
Need?
Yes.
Because, okay, I'll give
No. Why do you say need like that?
No, because I want to give a biblical example. I really don't think that that's a biblical mindset. Like,
what's that? Sorry.
We need financial stability.
Of course, we all know that we need financial stability.
But you just
wait, let me finish. What I'm trying to say is like, but the mindset shouldn't be that. Like, read Matthew 6, and he's like, don't worry about what you'll eat, what you'll wear, instead seek first the kingdom, and all these things will be added. Again, please don't say I'm saying just be a dumb person that's just doing whatever, but I'm saying the mindset should be do the things of the kingdom, add value to people's lives, solve problems, love people, serve people, give to people, and all those other things, yes, including your bills, yes, including your food, yes, including all these other things, they will be taken care of. That's the trust relationship that I think Jesus... So Jesus is telling me, if he requires me right now to sell this house and go and offer it to something, I should be willing to do that. I think that is what Jesus is telling us to be prepared for. Not saying that, I don't want to put a house over my children's heads, that would be foolishness. But I still think the mindset shouldn't ever be, I need to do this, so this needs to be sorted first before I do these other things.
Yeah, I mean, yeah. I understand you. But, even with that, right, in mind, it doesn't mean that you should then not try, and I don't think that it means that you should then not try to buy the house or try to,
of course,
because obviously you do need that thing. I'm not saying that God won't provide it, but if you are going to work towards buying that property so you do have a roof over your head, then
yes.
Then you should. And if you are looking for somebody that is going to either have a property already or, like those things are kind of there, then yeah, you should. I think that sometimes I get worried about the whole, because I'm not very much so like money. Sometimes I think that I forget that actually if you didn't have enough to handle business, I probably would have a bit of an issue. Yeah. I probably would have a bit of an issue, because I do want my man to be able, if that makes sense. Yeah. Like, I would like you to be able, or at least be trying to be able. Like,
Yeah.
I don't want a lazy man.
No.
I'm not a lazy. I'm not a
God
lazy. I'm not a lazy
recognizes
woman.
the fact that we have like these needs. Like, if God requires you to sell your house because He's asking you to sow into something, He's very aware of the fact that He's going to like supply your needs else, like in some other way. Like that's why that scripture says, and He will supply our needs according to His riches and glory by Christ Jesus. Like, He's very aware that we have these things to pay. But I think your point is more, your priority should be, okay, God, however you want me to serve, wherever you want me to be, that's my first.
Whoever
point
you
of
want me
call.
to date or marry is the first as well.
Yeah, I hear that.
That's my point. That the point
I
isn't
hear that.
the point isn't not to work for these things, not to do all these things, but back to the foundational question: should how much a person make be a factor in whether you date or marry them? No, with a question, with a caveat that if there is something else that person purpose, you said it, you already said it, like if there is something else going on that is showing that this person is actually walking in purpose or something else, that actually no, it shouldn't be a factor, and you should apply that to yourself as well.
Can I just read Grace's comment? She says, Matthew 6 is for everyone, not for the guy that is trying to toast a woman to marry him but can't afford financial stability.
Thing is, I think Grace is actually correct.
Oh my gosh,
like I don't
funny.
like, I think there's a scripture that says
What is Matthew 6?
what do you mean? What is
For-
Matthew
for-
6?
For those, I don't know if you want to quickly.
It's
It
the
talks
one.
about not
It's the one about
storing up
not storing up.
riches.
Don't worry.
Okay.
Seek
Yeah.
first the kingdom of God. But there are biblical principles that talk about like someone who can't take care of the family
Is
I-
worse than an infidel.
Okay. Wow.
Wow. Wow.
Yeah. So like
Wow.
People love that scripture, Bim.
like First Timothy 5:8.
Sheesh.
If anyone does not provide for his relative, and especially for members of his household, he is denied the faith and is worse than an unbeliever. So, like, I'm not here saying be lazy and all that stuff, because that's the thing in all the things you guys have been describing, you've been describing characteristics. You've been describing, like, kind of principles that people live by.
Yeah.
And that, I think, is biblical.
Yeah.
Is this person hardworking? Is this person driven? Is this person blah, 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 blah? Does this person want to serve other people? You know, and those are what you should be looking out for. But the reality is, what a lot of people look out for are outward signs of riches, to be honest with you, or
is he driving
status,
this?
or
Is
how
she
can he
driving
provide
that?
for you?
Is
Exactly.
She
Which is a problem
this?
because that says
That is
absolutely
the
nothing
problem.
about someone's
Yes.
character.
Bang on.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Bang on.
Exactly.
And do you know
Yeah.
what I found most shocking? Because I was thinking, is this different for really rich people? Because we're talking about it mainly from people that have money and don't have money. But billionaires, this statistic around amount of divorces based on money applies to them as well. Like Bill Gates,
because I guess
divorced.
it's-
Jeff Bezos,
But was that the
divorced.
reason that they got divorced?
The point
Different
is,
reason, isn't it?
sure, but I don't know their personal lives,
I mean-
so I don't want to speculate. But the point, like the rate of divorce doesn't change with the money, is the point that we're making.
Yeah.
So, like all of these things, it's not actually about how much money this person has. It's about how they use their money, what their
Yes.
relationship is with money.
Yes.
Like, are they generous with it? Are they blah 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 blah? So I
How
kind
they
of
steward it as well.
how they steward it. So
Yeah.
now.
These are more important than
Yeah.
how much money do
Exactly.
you make. That
This is-
question I
Yeah.
always have a problem with it, because it's
Yeah.
like, what do you mean? Like, is that the only thing that's moving you?
Yeah,
How much
exactly.
money? I must make 6 figures. So what? You don't care about my heart. You don't care about this guy's. You don't care about my heart. You don't care about the person who you're talking about's heart. You don't care about how he spends his money, how he manages
Exactly.
money, how she
Yeah.
spends money, how she manages money. Does she help? Is she kind? Is he generous? Is he stingy?
Yeah.
Is she stingy? Like, all these questions are for both a man and for a woman. It's not only
100%.
on one side.
Yeah.
That's more important than are you making six? What do you bring to the table?
Yeah.
Are you making six figures? Dumb question.
And to be
Question.
fair, what
Dumb.
someone's
I'm not
making-
gonna lie. I think it's very, very. I'm using Gen Z.
We've
don't like Gen Z.
Gen Z in our audience. No, Gen Z. I know some of you are good stewards of money.
Don't mind Tanya, please. We love you
joking.
guys.
I'm joking.
The joke is, I
love
actually
you.
think the
I love you,
generation
Gen Z.
above Gen
I'm
Z
joking. No, I
are more
love you,
money
Gen Z.
conscious than the Gen Zs. The Gen Zs are willing to live in a cardboard box if they feel like they're doing social justice.
I think those are different. They're one end of the spectrum.
Different type of Gen Z.
Gen Zs are the one that are saying if at 18 you're living with your mum, well, that's dumb. Like they're saying wild things.
But they're
So
also the
wild.
ones that will give up on a job if it's not soft life. Right?
Yes.
Yeah,
all right. We'll have a
let's-
conversation on Gen Z another day.
I
But
don't want
I was
to.
just gonna add on to your point, Tadio, and what someone earns at a point in time is not necessarily indicative of what they're going to be earning in like 3 to 5 years time, because things change, people change, like situations change. So even if you do meet someone that's on like, I don't know, a much lower salary than you, it doesn't necessarily mean that they're not headed towards more, and vice versa. Even if you do meet someone that's on like high 6 figures,
But I
can say-
think,
manage
to
their
be
money
honest with you,
properly.
I
They don't
think the
manage it,
vice.
or they can even. What if they then decide, you know what? I don't even want this job. You've married them now. They were
Yeah.
making 6 figures, and they're like, you know what? I don't even want to do this anymore. That's even another thing that's now
But
something
I
that
think
could.
I think that vice versa is the more important thing to talk
Yeah,
about, because I would hazard a guess that majority of the people that are having these issues, it's in hard times. When things are good, maybe you might just go through it, but maybe someone loses their job temporarily, and then that puts a strain. The question is, are you willing to ride it out? Are you willing to like let's go through the mud together? And I think
Yes.
that's when the stress comes in, the real strain. So I think going into the
You're
relationship,
very right.
you need to go in with the mindset of, it's not, because I think the thing people talk about is, oh, if you're poor now but you have potential, we're always looking at the upside, but we're not looking at when it goes downward.
yeah.
And I think that's the
Are
thing that
you
we need to be
strong enough?
focusing off more.
Yeah.
And that is why character means so much.
Yep.
Who somebody is. Are they willing to? It's very important to marry well, you know, marry well, but and that money aspect, yeah, it might be an aspect of it, but it cannot be the only thing, because as you mentioned, when you were down and out because of your back, Steph showed herself as a wife that was, you know, he who finds a wife finds a good thing. She showed you that. Do you know what I mean?
Yep.
Like she really showed you that. So when you're looking for the partner that you want to marry, you need to know that see those vows that we take, do not take them for granted in sickness and in health.
In riches and in poor.
And in poor. It was it. You
richer,
did it.
for
For richer, for poorer.
That's the one.
For richer, for poor, in riches.
vows. You should
Right?
I looked at him like, you said it, bro. For richer, for poorer. People just say it willy-nilly like that. They don't know.
Or people say for richer, for richer.
For richer, for
Yeah.
richer. You've now
Do you know what? If someone said that on the wedding day, for
People
richer,
have
for
said it.
richer,
Nah.
I don't know whether I'd
no,
save
no.
the rest of my vows.
Wow.
No.
I'd look
Honestly.
at you, I'd be like, are you okay?
Because for real, you need to know that this person is willing to tough it out, man. Because it's not always going to be great like that. So you need to know and work on the things that are going to help you gain all of the skills. I say skills, you know, with a job, it's skills. With relationships, it's the things that you the things that you have to help you with. It's like conflict management. It's trying to solve problems, issues, know how you're talking to each other, know how you come and agree on things. You know, if this happens, if I lose my job today, what is gonna happen? Are you willing as the woman to be the person who holds it down?
That's it.
Or it could be a year.
That's
Are
it.
you gonna hold it down, or are you
That's
gonna
it.
be lambasted? Because some women are like that.
Yeah.
The man loses his job
And they
and she now
demasculate
starts
him.
she now demasculates him. Make sure as a man you're not marrying a woman that can do that,
Come on, preach.
because for real, you now that piece that you think that you're even feeling because of make sure that you choose wisely, because seriously, those are the things that are important.
Well, so
It's
let's go officially into that and kind of say, what should you be looking for or what should you be assessing whilst you're dating someone to make the right decision to try and prevent yourself from being that statistic? So you've kind of already started talking about it. So is there a comment?
Grace is just
Grace she's not here for it.
She said, don't marry potential, marry what you see. She said, shag your eye well, and marry what you see. What if he doesn't meet the financial? What if he doesn't meet the financial potential you hoped for? It's a fair point. Because potential is just that. No, I think potential.
But what we're saying is that person, because the thing is, I was actually watching a different podcast about money, biblical money, and the point the guy was making was like, we talk about money in the Bible like, you know, it's a supernatural thing. Sometimes I want to pray for blessing. I believe it, so I'll get it. You reap, so you sow. But some of these things are just natural laws. Non-Christians are applying these laws. And he says, you know, when you believe something, it affects your behavior. So the thing that makes you like that statement work isn't I just believe something and I sit down. It's I believe something, so I behave differently. And then that behavior then attracts the thing. So I do think, you know, you need to be looking out for certain behaviors that will be like precursors. And if this person has this behavior, 9 times out of 10, they will be able to get something going. Like I've never met someone who was hardworking and a hustler and they couldn't get something in. Like even in like Nigeria, like I know people, I have friends and family members who Nigeria is one of the toughest places I've seen in this world. And they still make it happen. Do you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Because they've got that work ethic, that hustle mentality, blah, blah, blah.
Yeah.
So like, I just think if you apply certain kind of behaviors, it will happen. So I think we should be willing to trust that and not have to see the money on the table to be able to make that assessment. Because some people have even stolen the money. Like literally.
That's what I'm saying.
Literally though, it's
you
true.
don't know.
Yes.
It's not all
Have you guys know what Tinder swindler?
I've seen it.
Not, but I've heard.
You still know what Tinder swindler?
No.
My man
refuses to watch
was stealing money from women and then he'll take another woman on the lavishest date in the world. So she was seeing the money. My girl ended up.
Oh wow!
You really have to watch it. The gist is not enough.
I feel like I already watched it vicariously.
It's actually not the same. It's not, you need to watch it.
But that's where discernment comes in.
I'm not gonna lie, it wasn't even
discernment.
If you watch
Some
it, you
people
know
are
that it
just
was
dumb.
not
I'm
actually
sorry.
discernment.
I'm sorry to say, like,
but discernment will prevent you from making the dumb decision.
No.
Bim, you need to watch
Bim,
this,
honestly,
like-
you need
You
to
guys
watch
should
it.
believe in the power of
No, of course
discernment.
Yeah, but
Yes,
not in
yes,
this
yes.
situation.
I'm
It
just
was not
saying.
discernment because
just
they
saying
were
in
on
this
the
situation,
jet. They were on the jet. They went to the 5-star Michelin star.
Yeah, but
they
I'm
did
saying
all of that.
discernment will be able to show you that even though this person on the outside is giving me all
No.
this
No,
lavish
Rachel,
vibes.
It wasn't
Not
one
gonna
date.
lie.
It wasn't 2 days.
It was.
Mom.
There's
They
no
went,
way.
they got an
Mom.
apartment. Bim, they got
That
an
doesn't
apartment.
mean anything.
That's not discernment. They should have
Nah.
just been smart because if somebody is now, you yourself, you know that you don't have 20K on a normal day and somebody else is asking you, somebody that has taken you on private jet, has done all these lavish things, is now asking you for 20K to borrow them 20K. You have to now go and max your cards to give this person 20K. That's
She didn't
not
even max her
discernment.
card. She took out loans.
Loans and everything. That's not discernment. That's you being
saying-
very, 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 very dumb.
I'm saying this. Yeah, I agree. But I'm saying discernment, the point at which this person has approached you and they're displaying this lavish lifestyle and you're like, oh, okay, let's go along for the ride. Like discernment can prevent you from that at that stage is what I'm saying.
I don't know, man. I'm
This
not
guy
gonna
was
lie.
on point.
It was a
This
lot.
guy
Bim.
was on point.
He was very on point.
Thing is, he did websites. He did newspaper articles. He had a fake video. Like this guy was.
It was.
Yeah,
it was.
to the
was
natural
very on
eye.
point.
To the natural eye, he was.
to your
That's
eyes.
what the Holy
Okay,
Spirit
so-
can
Very
prevent you
spiritual.
from.
Eye. We
my
can't argue with the
God.
Holy Spirit. We can't argue with the Holy Spirit. But
Bim, if you watch it, you'll be like, wow, this is a lot.
See, Hannah's saying, I agree with Bim. Discernment will show you,
Yeah,
Sha.
yeah, it's
if you're
true,
saying
it's
the
true.
right prayers,
Yeah,
God will
yeah,
show
we
you.
brought
Let's move
Jesus
on.
into this. We can't.
Let's
You
move
can't
on.
really-
Let's
it's
move on.
true,
It's
Sha. You
true.
can't
It's
even
true. It's
really
true.
argue.
But I want to be practical now. I want to just be practical for a second.
Yes, sir.
You're dating someone.
Uh-huh.
So now everyone has heard this. It's not about the money. It's about the character. What are you looking for and how are you testing it?
So
don't know why I laughed.
Casinos ain't testing nothing.
What?
I'm looking for someone that is wise, that asks the Holy Spirit for wisdom, because that's a big thing. Wisdom in how you manage your finances and how you manage your friendships, your relationships. I'm looking for someone that is ambitious, that has a vision, that has a plan for their lives.
How are you doing that practically? That's what you want.
By their fruits you shall know them.
So yeah, I'm just thinking about some of the listeners are dating. They might be young. They want to know, okay, so how do I actually practically, what do I do to make sure I can find out all the things that Bim is saying?
Ask the right questions.
So what are those questions? So the people actually leave with a practical, this is what you should ask.
Bim, you continue.
I was more going to go along the lines of, you can see, like, if you spend enough time with someone, especially someone that like you're in a dating period with, and like you're getting to know them on an intimate level, you sooner than later you would start to see like certain traits, like how they act around their family, whether they're generous or stingy, whether they have an anger issue or not, whether they spend recklessly or whether they are very disciplined and principled in the way they manage their finances. Like those things will start to come out the more time, if you pay enough attention to it, they will come out even without you asking the questions. But I do agree, like, you should ask questions and be direct and have those conversations. But I just think being sensitive to those things and kind of like watching, watching that person's fruit. I would expect the same from them, like for them to see, because you can't hide. There's a Nigerian proverb that says,
say in your breakfast.
Oh, I don't want to butcher it.
Okay.
Try. And there's someone in the comments.
I was so on it because I just know that one can speak Yoruba.
The Yoruba proverb is Efiniwa.
Huh?
Do you know what that means?
Oh, is that it?
I thought I was waiting for more.
That is the proverb.
Very short proverb.
So you guys haven't heard the proverb, clearly.
No.
What does it mean?
I know what it means, but I want you to say it to
It basically means that
Just funny.
a person's character is like smoke.
Yeah,
That
Efini. Yeah.
Oh, please. Don't act like you know it now. But basically it's saying that sooner or later a person's character is going to come to the surface. Just like you can't hide smoke, or you can try to hide it for a period of time, but sooner or later it's going to come out. So I think it's the same way with, someone that you're in a relationship with. Like these signs will start to show whether they are genuinely caring, genuinely generous, or whether they're stingy, whether they spend recklessly, or whether they're principled, planned. Like those things will start to show. So I think that's a way that you can practically see.
Can people in the comments also like let us know in your opinion, because there's a million and one things, people have different experiences. Some people have already started saying some stuff. So do let us know, like, what are the things that you should practically be asking the person that you are dating or seeing to try and discern whether or not you'll be compatible financially. So I want to ask a question around.
You didn't get to the rest of us.
I didn't think I had to.
Wow,
she gave
really?
it really good, but you can go. You could go.
We're not allowed to have opinions.
We can't.
It's fine.
Go
It's
on.
fine. No,
It better be fire.
Nobody
Whatever
for us.
comes out of your mouth right
I'm
now
just
better
saying, you
be
asked
fire.
us all a question,
I think-
and then you stopped.
I think I completely agree with everything Bim says, and like
Yes.
specifically on the generosity thing, I think actually how you treat your family and how you help out the people around you who are in need, I think says a lot about your character and your heart.
Yes.
But I think another thing is, I think I'm fairly open when it comes to talking about finances and talking about like investing and things like that. So for me, I would want someone who can almost reciprocate that energy, because I think one of the biggest problems in this world, especially like as young people in the workplaces, we don't talk about our finances openly enough. So I think being able to, I don't want to know your entire portfolio, like, and especially like at the early stages. That's not wise. No, but as in like I'm not. Sorry.
Bim's like,
no, like I'm not asking you to tell
Can you
me
print it out?
everything, whatever you're comfortable sharing. But because I'm so open about talking about finances,
Right.
I would want someone to reciprocate that. so that I at least know sort of where we're at, what you're doing with your finances as well. And I think it's really important to not hide things from, especially when you're in a serious relationship.
That's a really big one of the subcategories of reasons for the financial disputes is people hiding things.
Right.
So that's a really important. I there was a statistic that said people are more willing to share really intimate things about mental health and blah 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 than they are to share about their finances in relationship, particularly things even around debt. I think people hide debt a lot, and I think that's really important to try and get that out on the table with full honesty and clarity.
Definitely.
Yeah. Okay. Sorry. You looked at me.
We all looked at you.
You hyped the first time round,
I wasn't being, but yeah. Yeah, like what Bim said as well, and I like that you also said about being around somebody's family and their friends and stuff, because it's true. Actually, it's different sometimes when you're on your own. Like, catch the vibe with them around their people, around your people too. Also, even just when you go to how somebody treats a waiter at a restaurant, that shows me whether you're kind or not. I really want somebody who you must be kind. That's what I'm looking for. What I'm looking for, should I say, or what I want to see is your kindness level, all the things that you've already mentioned, how you are with your family. Are you somebody who loves Jesus? Do you want to build that relationship? Do you respect the fact that I love my family and how I am with my family? Can you accept that? Can you accept the fact that I want to grow in my faith? Are you going to support me in that? And you actually asked about some questions. Some of the questions I think that should be asked in those stages is about, where do you see yourself in the next 5 years? Where do you see yourself in the next year? What do you think about properties, and what do you think about investment? What do you think, these are some of the questions, one thing that was always difficult, and I think I asked you before, was about, how to know if where someone is with their faith, and having those conversations, because it can be kind of hard to understand that too, and it's a very important thing.
Just to clarify and add to that point, when the reason you're bringing in faith is because if the person doesn't have the same faith, they won't apply the biblical principles we talked about earlier on.
Yes.
So that's why it might not sound like a financial question, but if that isn't in place, then the underpinning thing for everything we're talking about, it doesn't exist. So,
Yeah.
We've got a comment from Steph that says, I think you need to look at people's financial habits. Are they spending recklessly? Are they saving? Are they buying you a Gucci bag 1 month and the next month can't afford rent? These are important questions to ask.
And can I say, I do think this applies to guys and girls. I know
100%.
I do think a lot of guys, I won't lie, I did not think about any of this with Steph. What's your ambition in 5 years? I didn't really care. She had a good job, she was hardworking, but I do think it's important because even now in our marriage, when we are now starting to make plans for the future, there's been some times where we have different ideas, and it would have been, by the grace of God, we are actually equally yoked, so we managed to come together, but that's just by fluke, that's by grace. We didn't actually talk about it. So I think guys, don't think this is just something girls are asking you should also be asking. I'll give it even
sometimes
practical.
I have a problem if you don't ask me, because I remember before I did date somebody who didn't ask me any questions really, and that was like a red flag for me, because for me I was like, since you're not asking me any questions with all of these things, that means that maybe you don't know who you are or what you want, and that's a red flag.
But
because
there's also
I don't really
the element of, I don't feel like you then see me as an equal if you don't think it's important for me to bring these things to the table.
Yeah, I mean, it was a little bit different because it wasn't really the equal part. It was really just you don't know.
Can I jump on that?
Because you're not thinking about that.
Can I jump on that? So, just using a practical example, what do you think about guys paying on dates?
No, it's not even about that. I'm saying no, because I feel like you're taking it to a different. That's not what I meant. I mean, we are building a family together. We're building a life together. my opinions and the things that I want from my life are also valid. So the fact that I'm asking you these questions and you're not asking me the questions is a red flag to me.
I hear that.
Okay, yeah.
Okay, you guys answer my question
level,
just around like dates and stuff and expectations, because I think a lot of answer the question first and then I'll say,
so
when you're going on dates,
do
you think that the guy should pay on the first date?
Yes.
On the first date?
Yes,
yeah.
I'm gonna say yes. Yeah.
I think that I agree.
Yeah.
because
on the first date,
I do think that like dates are meant to be mini insights into the future, and they are like how someone behaves on a date. Like
especially the first date.
I mean, I will always offer, but I would expect you to pay.
And I think this is really important because I was watching something. They were saying like that whole the tradition, the dance that we all do.
Yeah.
It's really important. Like when on the first day, I took Steph to a really nice restaurant. Second day, took her to a really nice restaurant. The first one, Steph said, when I told her where we were going, she actually like messaged me and said, "I'm sorry, that place is too expensive. So can we go somewhere else?" Like she just implicitly said, "If I can't pay for this place, I'm not going with you there."
Yeah.
You know? And I was like, of course, no, it's fine. I've got this. Let's go. And even though after the second date, took her to a nice place, she then said, "Please, on the third date, can we go do something that doesn't need to cost too much money? Like there's no need for that." And even though I was like fully willing to do it, I enjoyed it. That spoke volumes to me.
Yeah, because she's thinking about you in your pocket
exactly.
too.
Yeah. Exactly.
And
even if I've got it, I don't need you to spend it, you know? And that really showed me. But then at the same time, I personally think in the modern kind of, when people are saying, no, I'm not going to let him pay on the first date, I think that's foolishness as well. Because I think
people say that.
People do say that.
Wow.
And I think you want
I don't know if I have any friends that say that.
see that this guy is willing to kind of put out for you and sacrifice for you, or like spend on you. Is this guy generous? Is this guy gonna not make? Well, this guy willing to spend money on you without any expectations of something else? Do you know what I'm saying? Like all these things that you do on dates, they're important to give you insights into the person.
Yeah.
They're not just like things that we're doing. I think that's kind of got lost in translation a little bit in our modern world where we're trying to be all about equality. I think we can definitely have equality. Like the way you described equality a moment ago, that was actually the right way. You know, we can have it, but doesn't necessarily mean like you don't demonstrate that you're both kind of thinking in the right way.
Yeah.
Agreed.
Yeah.
Agreed. Yeah,
Agreed, Tolu.
definitely.
Guys, I feel like there's not enough controversy in this conversation.
Yeah,
I
but
feel like
that's
we're
good.
agreeing too much.
I mean, no, but it's true though, isn't it?
People tuned in for some.
I feel
If
like there has
anyone
been.
disagrees, please let us know in the comments and let us know your thoughts.
Okay, so
yeah.
so then how do you? Sorry, did you have something you wanted to say? Okay, cool.
Go.
So how do you then? Like, what are some things that you? Because we in the trailer we talked about things like having the same accounts and things like that. Are there practical things in a relationship that you think help / don't help?
I think
In a relationship
help or
or
don't
marriage?
help what? Sorry.
Both.
Okay.
Marriage.
Okay, I think in marriage, I'm not there yet, but I think in marriage, I think sitting down and actually putting together like a plan, like also first of all budgeting, like knowing what's coming in and what's going out budget. And how, and like that comes all the different umbrellas you want to spend money on, fine, but also as you said, like you have like a 5-year plan of like where you want to be financially. Right, you have.
I didn't say 5-year,
but you have a plan.
Yeah.
But like, I think having those conversations like is really important. Yeah,
100%.
Yeah, you definitely need to budget. Budgeting is so very important because you can just spend and you don't even know what you're spending on. Like I've done budgets before. I've had to do budgets before, but now because I'm getting into the stick of what I'm saving for, I had to budget again. And with the new budget I did, it was even more like, okay, this is exactly what is going out. Again, I've done it before, but at this new level again, man, you guys know I like to go out and eat and dress up and eat. I can't tell you when I last bought from Pretty Little Thing, which is my place. But, you know, like I've started trying to think of, you know, do I really need to buy something else? But that's because I have like a big major goal in my mind. But budgeting for sure is something you really need to do.
Absolutely.
A lot of the time people talk about the way to do your accounts, and we talked about it where we said you can have a joint account,
one joint one,
where you put all your bills and big things in, and then you have separate accounts. So I was reflecting on that, and I think that would still bug me.
What, having a
what
separate
would bug
one?
you?
No. So I should have finished the sentence.
Yeah.
Yes.
I said that. So if I was dating or married to someone who we both agreed these are all the things that we're gonna put into a joint account, and then whatever left is up to you, and that person then spent it on hair, makeup, all these other things, even though it was their money technically, I would be annoyed.
Why?
So
Why?
does this still
Did you say
like
their money technically?
Does
Yeah.
this include savings? So savings is budgeted into your joint account
All
stuff.
the above.
This is literally disposable income, your own
Yeah.
personal. So why would you have?
Why
a
you
problem?
got a
It's
problem
just,
with
it's
it?
just like
So what are you doing with yours?
It's just like, for
Exactly.
instance,
What are you doing with yours?
Chill.
Questions?
What I'm saying is,
Sorry, that
No,
that
I
had-
actually want to
that had
know.
too much vim. I
think-
apologize.
I think for
didn't
me,
mean to have
it's
so
more
much vim.
just, I don't think I like people who are lavish.
Why
And-
is spending on your
You
giving
remember
your
when we
hair
talked about,
lavish?
when we talked about buying like a £5,000 bag,
Yeah.
and you were like, "Yeah, this is." I was like, "Nah, don't
No,
do it."
yeah. So I said
So
that one
I
of the things
wouldn't-
I really want to do for myself, because I don't spend that much money on myself.
Yeah.
I want to buy one luxury item. And Tolu was like, mad. Like,
It's
Tolu
actually
literally
an investment.
Like, this is what
They
I said
go
to
up
him.
in
I
value.
told you
Yeah.
bags
Yeah,
are in
yeah.
they actually
they are.
Okay,
We had
alright.
this
Some-
conversation.
It depends,
But
it depends on the
Tolu
bag
did
and the
not
item.
get
Okay.
it
Yeah.
at all.
So for what I'm saying is like, I would not be happy.
Yeah,
with
but
that.
that's not.
Why
I'm not
though?
doing
Why?
it every day. That's like
Okay,
a one-time
but
thing. So
I understand. Like, but in the context, like all of us here, we still have goals and aspirations, right? We still have things that we're working towards. So that's why.
But you
Like,
can still live
No,
life
you can
while you
still-
aspire into these things.
So
If
what
you
I'm
budget
saying
for
is,
it.
live life, and buying a £5,000 bag for me don't compute.
There are levels to
What
this.
I mean,
And
there
that's what
are
I'm
levels.
saying.
to
And that's
it.
what I'm
What
saying.
if
There are
she
levels
has
to this.
saved up for it? She's literally put money to
There's
the side.
a budget for the
I
luxury
didn't say
bag.
I'm
For
gonna
that
wake up
luxury
What
bag.
I
tomorrow
would
and do
say is,
it.
what I would say is, why? Because so the way
She wants it.
the way me and
Yeah.
Steph actually do our accounts is
Uh-huh.
rather than saying, okay, we put everything in a joint account and then whatever's left off is for you to do whatever you want. It's we put everything into a joint account and then we give ourselves an allowance from that.
Okay,
And
so
then-
if she
Okay.
wanted to
and then-
spend $5,000, she wanted to save.
So
No,
the allowance isn't $5,000.
no, but if she saved over a period of time and then like spent $5,000,
It's not possible because what we've
Why is
budgeted
it not possible?
because what we've
After
budgeted
so many years,
because what
how
we
can it not be
budgeted
possible?
for each other is based on kind of the things that we naturally spend. So if she's doing that, that means she's not
Hey,
taking
but if
care
she
of.
saved it over a period of time,
like if she
She
saved
saved
£50,
I'm just
I
I'm
don't
telling you that won't compete with me because for me it's because like when we're working like and I have money left over, there's many things I want to buy. There's many things I would love to splurge on, but no, if I could put it into the savings account, we'll get to our goals quicker.
budgeted for those.
No,
things.
life is for living,
Listen, budget doesn't
Tolu.
mean you can't get there faster. What do you mean?
Yeah. So what? So
Budget
really
doesn't mean
so
if you
really
wanted to
and truly,
just
what's
get
the point?
one extra house, you can't get two.
What's the point in then giving yourselves an allowance if
that's
you
my-
still care about what
that's-
she does
so
with
that-
her allowance?
Because my point.
Why do you care?
No. But my point is, there are certain things that I don't think are worthwhile. And there are certain
That's
things
fine.
that I think
Don't use your own money for those things. Then.
I think because I think this is important because I know that like some things will bug people one way or the
This is
other.
a very
And
good
I'm
comment.
saying you should own up to the things that would bug you in a relationship.
Yeah,
Yes,
own
you're-
up,
Like,
own
own
up.
up to the
very
things that will
right.
bug you in a relationship.
Yes.
I know you might not get it, you might not understand it, but like if you have a partner that is constantly spending money on gold jewelry,
It's an investment.
it's different.
It's
though.
an
Constantly
investment.
is different
I mean,
from a
I
once
get
in a
you.
while
But
treat.
this
Yeah.
is very true.
That makes you feel good.
This is true.
It's different.
though.
Because
all I'm
life is
saying-
for living.
You
You know,
can't-
sometimes you want to
Yeah,
make,
but
you
there's
want to
different
feel
ways,
good, you want to
like,
splurge.
Yeah, but if
The
this is
person
how I
that-
think this is my living,
It is
what's your
wild.
business?
Exactly.
then
It's wild to me.
Exactly, we wouldn't. Yeah.
We have different views on lifestyle.
How wild
do you
to me
like?
that you still-
How would you splurge and like? I want to treat
a nice
myself.
holiday with the family.
so
and
that's
all
how
that.
you
So you still have
I
to.
am
But someone
admitting
else-
it's me. I've not said this is what everyone should do.
No,
I haven't
I'm
said
saying that
once.
this is you.
Yes.
If Steph
Steph
felt
wants to
away
do her
for you
own?
doing that,
Huh?
if Steph felt away for you splurging on a holiday,
Then we wouldn't be married. That's my point. Don't marry
Oh,
someone.
so you
who
and
you're
Steph are quite
compatible
you're
with.
quite aligned in the
No,
way you
it's
think.
not perfect.
It's not perfect,
it's
but
not
you are
perfect.
more aligned than say
yes,
you
exactly,
and like the next
exactly.
person. Okay, fine.
Exactly.
Okay.
Like if every month Steph was bare. No, I don't know how this doesn't sound like. I can't say it.
No, say it. Say it.
No. Move on.
don't say it if it's
Move on.
gonna sound like
It's
shade.
gonna sound like shade, but it really, I promise
Okay,
you,
yeah,
it
don't
wasn't.
say it. Don't say it. Don't say it.
Shade to who?
No, you don't want to
move
know.
on.
Don't
Yeah,
say
yeah,
it.
move on.
Don't.
I'll tell you after.
Don't.
Anyways,
But I think, do you know what? On that point, I think it's important in life. You only get one life to live. You know.
Yeah.
Sometimes treat yourself.
treat
And that's
yourself.
part of
Treat
celebrating
yourself.
your wins. It's not always like you can budget to treat yourself.
100%.
It doesn't have to be reckless.
I understand. And of course, maybe I'm giving extreme examples here. If somebody made like a one-off purchase, fine.
No, you weren't fine with it when I said
He's
it.
not fine.
I
though.
wasn't fine with that one. I think 5,000.
Yeah, because I get
It's
you. I
actually
get
an
what.
investment.
Okay,
What-
sure.
like-
sure,
what
sure.
Tolu
If
is
it-
saying
Tolu,
is
do you know
that
how long
go
I've
up in
been
value.
saving for this?
I get it. I
I
get
don't
it. I
understand.
get
What
it.
Tolu's
I
saying
get
is
it.
that even if you've been saving, now that you have that, to now spend
Invest it.
that on
Do you know what I'm
that
saying?
one
Like,
bag item,
Yeah.
you could have actually spent
It's
it on
an
something
investment,
else.
Tolu.
That's
I guess the overarching
I
point
get it.
that I'm trying to make here is like you do need to be compatible in terms of lifestyle and what you think is okay, because
Yes.
resentment
Yes.
does seep
Yes.
in.
Yeah.
Like
You're
people
very
can
right.
resent even how much you go and do your hair and stuff. That's a common thing that people talk about. Every week you're going and spending money on your hair and your nails. Like that
Isn't
happens.
it usually because it's the other person's money that is being spent on the hair and the nails?
Yeah.
That's usually what
Yeah,
the
but it
complaint
should
is.
have-
But
It
when
should
you met
apply
me
too.
single, I was most probably doing my hair and my nails. So that was the lifestyle in which you met me.
And you
so
enjoyed
why would
me
you expect that to
looking
change?
great.
Exactly.
So
Why
what's
now?
What's your
No.
beef?
You now want me to be
What is your
looking
beef?
crusty?
No, I don't agree. That life moves on, life changes, priorities. We have children now. We
Oh,
have,
but then now you'll
we
be
have
no,
other
but
things.
then
Yeah.
you'll be complaining that you don't look
When
as
I
good
was-
as you used to when we
Exactly.
met.
Who complains
What?
about that? No.
a lot of men do.
No, they're
They
stupid.
complain about
They're
their wives
foolish.
letting
They're
go.
foolish. I let go. It's not a big deal. It's not that deep. Yeah,
This is
just
why
let
he
go.
has this take.
Just let go. Yeah. No, for real. I think other things in life come on. Like that's
Yeah,
what
but
you
there
do
are
when you're
some
young
things-
and you're
No,
blah 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 blah.
Tolu,
When
as
you're
a-
now,
Tolu, as a woman,
I think you should change.
As a woman, there are some things that we like to do that are going to make us feel good.
Yeah.
As your wife has, as you have said now you have kids, and I know I don't have kids yet, but from all my friends who have had kids and that are all mums, you need to be able to do those things that make you feel good, because now you're literally someone's mum. You're taking so much time in doing in literally taking care of your house, in building a home, taking care of the
you lose
kids.
yourself
You
a bit.
need you when you're now feeling like you're losing yourself, doing your hair. You wouldn't understand how
Yeah,
doing
it's
your
different
hair
for
and
guys.
nails makes a woman feel, like as in somebody who does like doing those things. It's not all women that enjoy doing that. So I'm not going to just put a blanket thing on it. But once I do my nails, I do my nails myself, but once I do it, I feel like, hey, once I do my hair, I'm like, do you know what I mean?
do my
it
hair
makes you
myself and it
feel,
makes a
it makes the
difference.
difference. It makes
guys,
you feel
just let's
good.
be clear on what the point here is. My point wasn't that's a bad thing. My point is make sure you communicate that with the partner and they understand that.
I actually think that
and
you're
you
right
both
about that.
get that.
Yeah,
Like
yeah.
that's the
You are
important
right
thing.
about that.
Whatever it is, your lifestyle. There are things in my lifestyle that people will think are silly as well. But me and my wife, we are happy with it. I actually think Steph raised a good comment in the thing. She says, I don't think guys always have to pay on first date. Like if the woman has asked the guy out or if she's earning more, I don't see why she shouldn't pay. I disagree with that.
I also disagree with that take.
Yeah. I this might sound super traditional, super old school, but I actually think that you should let the man do that. And because I think, unfortunately, in actual marriage relationship, there are certain things, if you want to have children and you do have children, there are certain times when potentially the woman is on downtime. And I do think men need to demonstrate that they can. I was listening to this Jordan Peterson. Some people might not actually like that, might be a triggering name to some people. But he was saying, like, you know, when women make decisions about partner based on kind of how you can provide or how you turn up and all that stuff. And that's the same with the animal kingdom. Like, you know, all these animals, they do these dances and all these things to demonstrate. And that's because the female knows that I'm going to be in a vulnerable position with this. Like, this thing could kill me. This thing could finish me. Like, Steph is on maternity leave right now. Government is not helping out at all the way you think. If I was a useless, like, Steph has had to humble herself and come to me now for money, and because she pays for childcare, Evie's nursery, and then that leaves her with nothing left. You know, so she has to ask me to send her money. Like, if there was any kind of, I've heard personal situations where the man doesn't give the woman the money or makes her feel a way about
Some
it.
way, yeah.
So I really genuinely believe that we are giving men in particular too much of a pass. I want you to demonstrate that you are willing and able, not the able in terms of you have the money, blah, blah, blah. I'm talking about just your character is such that you are here to take care, or you can, or are willing, or are generous enough. That's just my take.
I
Some
like
people
it.
find
I
that
like
crazy.
that take. I like that take.
Yeah.
Anyways, we've gone over our time. I'm not really sure how long our time is these days. But are there any like final takes that from anyone before we start to think of wrapping up?
Just to read Hannah's comment, doing hair and nails gives you some time to yourself. You know, it's a part of self-care for a lot of women. That's very true.
It is.
It's your time to yourself.
I just really
men
want to
have their
confirm
man
again.
caves.
I
have our thing
wasn't
as well.
saying parent. I was literally just talking about being compatible with your person.
Yeah, no, I hear
because
you.
these are the reasons people break up. Hiding your money. I think
This
hiding
is
money
why
is peak.
I like speaking to young couples. This is one of the other ways that I try to get the questions because a lot of the time you don't know what is going to come up because you're not there yet, right? Like I'm not married yet, but I like to hear from young married couples, old married couples in general, you know, some of the things that they didn't think would pop up, so that I can know and maybe ask those questions now while I'm dating, and I'll have that kind of, we now have that there. You know what I mean? There's not, it's again, obviously it's not everything that you'll know until you're married and until you're 100% living with that person. But I think it's important to also talk to the married people around you and gain knowledge from them. I think that that's very important if you can, you know.
Indeed.
That's my take.
You guys have really said some really good examples. Like that family thing is another big one. Like, because especially the older we get, the more we have responsibility to take care of our families. And that, I think, is a point of inflection in terms of, you know, decisions. I, again, know personal examples where people have not thought, no, it's not our responsibility to do that, and the other partner really painful, particularly if there's like illness or death or something like that. So it's really important to just, are we here for this? Or if someone in your family, like me and my sisters were very close, if anything ever happened to one of them, we're all willing to go bankrupt to support. Do you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
I think you need to make sure that your spouse is ready for that.
Yeah.
And be ready to do that for them as well.
That's a good
Absolutely.
point.
Nice.
And just to be confirmed, you might not be ready for that. And I think it's, if you are there, find a partner that's also not ready for that. Like, I'm just trying to like make this a moral thing, like do the right, of course I want you to do the right thing, but again, it's all about compatibility.
Yeah. But you know, there's also discernment in that, because even if you do have the heart to like help your family members, some people can abuse that and take advantage of you.
Yep.
So you need to have discernment of when to, you know, show up and when to not, and when to like set a financial boundary, because some people can take you for a ride if you let them.
And I think we talked about this. I remember saying this already, but that's like, as much as you want to be on the same wavelength. You also want to be able to challenge each other. And, you know, because I've had that experience where I wanted to give someone some money and Steph said, totally no, you've done this 2 or 3 times already and they've betrayed your trust. Don't do it again. And that was, you know, wisdom coming from the other person. So I definitely think you need to be able to challenge each other. You already mentioned, like, challenge each other in terms of your ambition and how you're meeting your goals and how you're being wise with your financial stewardship. So these are all the things to actually look out for during the dating. I do think you can see it during the dating time. Like if someone is not about tipping waiters or paying the service charge, for me, I don't like that. I really hate that. When we go to a restaurant
off the bill.
and people are bare arguing about it and fighting about it.
I feel like I've changed now.
Service.
Yeah.
Nah, I'm not on that anymore.
I am
For me,
very
that
much
doesn't
so.
show-
Let's pay this service charge, please.
It doesn't show good character
There's bare
to me
of us.
anymore.
There's like 13 of us pay this service.
And some people will
Come on,
then
guys.
say no and leave and then make everybody else pay more.
Yeah.
Nah, trash.
It's awkward.
If you are ever at an
Oh my
outing
gosh, I would literally
and your
walk-
partner
like,
does
if my
that,
partner
break
did
up. Break up. I'm telling you now, break up with them today. If you were ever at
Okay,
a gathering
Tolu,
and your
Tolu.
partner did that, break up with them yesterday.
Tolu's views are Tolu's views.
There you go.
And with that being said,
With that being said,
Indeedio.
Nice.
Any
I
final
liked
comments
that.
from anyone?
no.
Shine your
Good
eye.
convo.
That's what I would say. Shine your eye well.
All right,
And
guys.
ask the Holy Spirit
thank
for
you
help.
guys.
Yes, we're rounding up now. Thank you once again for joining us. Next week, I think we're going to be talking now about marriage, right?
Yeah.
We're going to be talking about specifically about marriage and some of the issues. I do think the marriage conversation is probably going to extend over a few episodes
I think so.
there's a lot to unpack in there. Are we actually going to come to sex and that conversation? We've been tippy-toeing around it, but I do think it's an important conversation to have at some point. But yeah, look out for that. Look out for that. But yeah, we've been the Eden Ideal. Please follow, like, subscribe, share. Like, we really, really want to build this thing. We have a lot of ideas, but some things that we want to do, you can't actually do until you get to 1,000 subscribers. So please, please, please subscribe, follow us on Instagram. We're hoping to, put more content out there. We really hope you've enjoyed. And also let us know how we can improve this thing. Like, some people do send us feedback and it's really, really helpful.
Yep.
Like, so please, please, please don't hold back. I'm sure everyone listening actually knows one of us here. So do send us some feedback because we will try and act upon it. Yeah. It's been real. Deuces, y'all.
Yes.
Deuces.